For more on the expanding ties between China and Honduras, we're joined now by Camila Escalante. She's the Latin American correspondent for Press TV. She's also the editor of Kawsachun News. And, when we talk about these ties, and Paulo was saying that it's important developments, I was looking at some of the statistics, and we are seeing tangible impacts. Last year, the Chinese textile giant Texhong, which employs about 40,000 people around the world, talked about putting in about $400 million worth of money into Honduras. They're going to create about 7,000 jobs. These are really tangible for people in Honduras. Can you talk about these growing possibilities there?
Right. Well, the Honduran government has outlined some of what it considers to be the greatest achievements of the last year. They said, of course, China opening the market to Honduran products and trade is extremely important, as we know in the case of Nicaragua, another tiny Central American country that now has access to this great market. Another thing is the free trade negotiations that they're on the fourth round of conducting right now. That is obviously going to help strengthen economic relations, and they're trying to achieve that. It was achieved in record speed in the case of Nicaragua. Also, there's cooperation in the area of education. The Honduran government says that over the last decade or so, under the previous administration in Honduras, that the education facilities, the schools were abandoned, and that China will now come and help to restore these facilities and build new ones. Also, in the area of health, it's been announced that China will be helping by sending medical brigades to Honduras in order to deal with the medical and surgical backlog in the country, something that the country is suffering a lot from. And they're also helping training Honduran medical professionals as well. There's also exchanges in the area of culture and tourism, as we've seen in other countries that China has been building bridges with. And of course, most importantly, many would say the collaboration and cooperation in the area of large infrastructure projects, which China is known for. So what people are talking a lot about, of course, in Honduras, is that they are in a process right now of looking for financing and help with the building of an interoceanic national railway, which of course will connect the two oceans, something that's necessary given the issues that are being faced with the Panama Canal. And there are several bidders or nations that are interested in helping with this project. And one of the most important ones with the capabilities of doing so is, of course, China.
And it's so interesting you bring that up, because the Honduras ambassador to China was interviewed, and he was talking about the Belt and Road Initiative and just how it's really kind of a lifeline in many respects for countries in the global south. And one of the things I didn't realize that was pointed out was the capital of Honduras is one of the few world capitals without a railway. So when you talk about infrastructure needs, they're pretty dire in some respects in Honduras, aren't they?
Absolutely. So as I said, they're looking for ways of fortifying the educational system, the healthcare system. Right now, Nicaragua is full speed ahead because they were able to establish those relations with China a year prior. So now they're on to their second year. And because of that, they're going to be receiving a lot of help with a new international airport that will service Managua. These things are absolutely critical, and the Honduran government did this as one of their most important steps after Xiomara Castro took office, knowing that in all sorts of areas this country needs help with infrastructure. One of the other areas is with sports and athleticism. You can't hold major international events or even really train national athletes without these facilities, and these are all things that the Honduran government is hoping that further down the line, China will be able to help with.
And exports expected to develop rapidly. There's talk of tobacco, shrimp, sugar, some areas of growth. Do you see that as a huge plus as well?
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, a number of meetings and commemorations have been held, and the foreign minister, both the foreign minister of Honduras and the Honduran ambassador, there in China have remarked on all the possibilities. They said that this is a country that we need to be following in the footsteps because of the way in which China was able to take more than 800 million people out of poverty and advance and develop. And so they said, the foreign minister said, what is it that China has invested in? Health and education. And that's what we want to do as well.
Yeah, very interesting. Camila, thanks so much for your insights. Really appreciate it.